Devil May Cry 3, Dante's Awakening, is about Vergil and Arkham trying to open up the demon world, and we have our hero Dante gonna try to stop them. Hey everybody, John Franklin Reviewer, and I'm finally continuing my Devil May Cry franchise. Yes, I'm mostly a movie channel, but I actually wanted to review this series here, and honestly I should have been done by now with it. It's a long story why I'm only getting to this one now, because with part 2 is almost a year ago to me doing this one, and I, like I said, really do apologize. Well, I don't want to get into the long story, so let's just jump right into this here. So what is it that I actually enjoyed about Devil May Cry 3 Dante's Awakening? Well, let's get some of the easy stuff out of the way. This one is well made. I love the design of the monsters. I definitely love the humor. I actually enjoy the story. And believe it or not, because mostly of the time this will bother me, especially when it comes to movies, and this is really my first video game that's ever been like this, that this is actually a prequel. And I got to be honest, because they don't like shove it down your throat like movies would. I actually can enjoy this game for what it is. It's very fun. It's entertainment. It's a hack and slash game. You just go on through. You're killing hench monsters, you're killing the bosses, and you're going through, and you're actually having such an entertaining, fun time with this here. I mean, I gotta be honest, with all three of these, I can enjoy them for what they are. Let's get to some of the characters. Let's get to our younger version of Dante. Now, I like his cockiness, I like his humor. The one thing that I gotta be honest, even though this is a prequel, one thing that, again, that this game has over the other two is I feel like that Dante was in more danger in this one, where there was a possibility if this was a sequel instead of a prequel, there's a chance he could have actually died in this game here. I mean, just some of the hell that he has to go through in this game, I'm just like, holy shit. I was really surprised about that. Then we get to another character named Vergil, who is the villain of this movie, or one of the villains. This guy is cool, calm, and collect. He's actually focused on one thing that he wants to do, and that's it. And unfortunately, he has someone who's going to try to stop him in Dante, but he's like, I am going to go do what I need to do, and I will try to stop this guy in any way so I can actually win. You know, unlike some bad guys in movies or maybe other video games where they have a plan, but then they actually just decide to make it a revenge. Like, I'm going after the hero, screw the plan, or I'll go back to it later once I kill this guy. Then another character I want to talk about is Jester. This guy is funny. This guy is actually cool. He's very annoying. He is one of the bad guys. But the thing is that I enjoy him for who he is. I really do. And he does some really cool things in this movie. I thought, okay, I would have not expected that to happen in a video game, but I thought his parts were really cool. And then the final is the way that this video game ends. Actually, during the end credits, something goes down where you're actually participating in it. It's not just a cutscene, and I thought it was really cool. And on to the dislikes. Let's start off with some characters here. The first one I want to talk about is Arkham, who's the other villain with Vergil. Now, I already gave my likes that I really enjoyed Vergil. I liked his focus on what he wanted to do. Arkham, he has his own focus and he has his own reason for being there, and I personally just don't care for this character. I feel like he's unnecessarily to be in there. They can actually take this character out and the game would still be the same. I mean, there might be a few reasons why he's there, but then they could just do some rewrites and figure out how Vergil can go do what he needs to do without this guy. So I'm not exactly too thrilled with him, and he has two secrets. One of them I don't care about. The other one really pisses me off. Now, unfortunately, you actually have to play the game to actually understand it, no matter if you agree or disagree with me on it. And then another character is Mary, who is on the good side here, and I'm thinking, when they first show her, I'm like, oh, she's a pretty cool character. This is going to be very interesting, her and Dante teaming up. And just like Arkham, I personally don't care for her storyline in this. I don't care for her arc in this at all, really. I mean, she has some cool things throughout, but overall, just like Arkham, I feel like you could take her out and I'd be perfectly happy with how this story could have actually gone if you got rid of those characters. Then I need to talk about a boss. vampire bitch is what I'm going to call her. I cannot stand her. She is definitely one of the tougher ones, in my opinion. Just some of the cheese that comes out of this, where you and her could be very close to death and thinking you have a shot to get her dead, and she ends up throwing out some kind of cheese at you and kills you, and like, oh, I gotta start all over again. And yes, I understand that games should still give you challenges even now, let alone when games even first came out. I get that, and she was my challenge, but this is what I'm giving you. And no, I'm not giving you number one, unless it's number one annoyance. And then another character, or I guess monster to be exact, not a boss, just a nuisance, are these giant spiders that throughout the game you actually got to fight them, and I hate them for what they are. Just annoying, and that's all I could say. Enough about them. And then another thing is the controllers. Sometimes there's certain buttons that controls the camera, and I gotta be honest, there's some times where, and I guess this would be the director's fault, but there's times where you can't even move the camera that much. You barely move it. I understand you maybe not be able to do 360, but just so you could see your enemies and all of that. And I swear that there's a few times in this game where it's like the camera's on a tripod, and here goes Dante, you know, running past the camera. And then a lot of times it's with bosses. Not all throughout the game here, but still was very annoyance to me. And my final dislike is actually something I think is really stupid, no matter if it's in video games, if it happens in movies, is when you actually have the good guys fighting. Now, in this one, it is Dante and Mary. It only happens one time, but oh, why? Why couldn't they just team up? Like I said, Mary had her own agenda, and so did Dante with what he had to do, but technically, they were trying to get to the ending together. It was just the way that they ended up doing it, but it was just like, no, they didn't have to fight. My rating for this is going to go 7 out of 10. Devil May Cry 3, Dante's Awakening. Have you played this game? If you have, what did you think about it? Give me a comment down below if you agree, disagreed with anything I actually said. Thank you guys so much for watching this. Please like, please subscribe. Stay awesome, everybody.